Well, once again, good morning and welcome to Summit Alliance Advantage Thursday training. We're excited to have everyone. We're excited to talk about American National and the great products that they have to offer. As a matter of fact, we have a special guest from American National, Mr. Ronnie Russell, who's going to go over, again, those phenomenal products that we have. You know, when you're out in the field and you're working with your clients, and, you know, we all have, you know, our client's best interest at heart, or at least we should. And, you know, when you're working with your client and you're, you know, you need to have competitive products in your back pocket so you can do exactly that. You need to have products where you can meet your client's needs, where you can put them in a situation that's good for them and their family. And, you know, whether that be having the protection, you know, for whatever they're looking for to meet that need, and then having a good company to back you with that. And, you know, American National, you know, very well known, very established, very exciting company to be partnered with. So with that, we're excited to go into the products that they have to offer. We're going to learn a little bit about the company. You know, it's good to be able to posture yourself with your clients, and, you know, just let them know you're coming, you know, from a position of confidence, a position of stability, and, you know, just working with a great product and a great carrier, and, you know, having that confidence. Your clients will see that, and, you know, again, so we're going to hear a lot about that today. And so with that, without further ado, we're real excited to have on again, Mr. Ronnie Russell, to go over the American National products and how we can service our clients with this. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring on Mr. Ronnie Russell. Ronnie, are you there?
Yes, I am, Jason. Can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear. Thank you, sir. Go ahead and take it away.
Well, very good. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate Summit Alliance Advantage allowing us this time to introduce American National and talk a little bit about who we are and our product portfolio, and want to thank everybody that's taken the time today to listen in. So just kind of moving along, bear with me a minute. Jason, you can still hear me, right?
I can hear you loud and clear. Just when we thought we were ready and good to go, it looks like maybe the slides are not acting for you.
Yeah, I'm having a slide issue, and I do apologize. I don't know what's happened. I had tell me. There we go. So anyway, so just to, I'm good to go. Sorry about that that glitch. So anyway, just a little history about American National. American National is based in Galveston, Texas. We were founded in 1905 by William Moody Jr. In fact, his grandson, Robert Moody, was our CEO and chairman of the board up until just March of last year. He did step down due to health concerns. He's actually in his early 80s. So, you know, we had basically the third generation running the company up until recently. And our current CEO, Jim Posey, actually has been with American National for 45 years and actually started out at American National as an actuarial intern. And so he's currently our CEO and chairman of the board. Our financials, of course, American National is A-rated, both by AM Best and Standard & Poor's. Some of our financial highlights, at least up to 2015, that we have current. We were assets of about close to 24 billion, net equity of about 4.5 billion, and as you can see there, how much life insurance in force, 91 billion. And American National has basically paid a dividend since 1911. So 6 years after its founding, it started paying a dividend and continues that dividend every year thereafter to present. Unique feature about American National, we are publicly traded. You can actually find us on the NASDAQ. Our ticker code is ANAT. The unique thing about American National, however, is that as we like to advertise, we're publicly traded but privately controlled. And what we mean by that is American National, 2/3 of the voting stock, 1/3 is controlled by the Moody Family Trust, and another third is controlled by the Moody Family Foundation. The Moody's established a foundation many, many years ago benefiting primarily college grants and educational grants in the state of Texas. So essentially we have, again, a publicly traded company, but being privately controlled. American National more or less can manage itself the way it wants to and is not necessarily at the whims of Wall Street. So just to kind of give you a little overview of American National, this is going to be your best avenue to learning more about American National. This is our website. It's www.img.anacoweb.com. And on that website, you can access essentially all of that, all of the product information, marketing materials, company information, pre-approved ads, access to webinars. We have a number of webinars pre-recorded, both of product and also product ideas. And with respect to illustrations, supply orders, things of that nature, you would need to be appointed and have a user ID to access that. But you can go onto this website without being appointed and at least browse through the various products that we offer, both life and annuity. Today we're going to basically concentrate on the life side. And so we're moving along. We maintain a field support center. This field support center is actually located north of Galveston and League City, which is essentially between Galveston and Houston, for those of you that are familiar with that area. And so these folks would be a good resource for you in the field. You can call that number, 888-501-4043, and when the recording goes on, you just take option 1. And someone there will pick up the phone, and they will be in a position to answer questions, both on product inquiries you may have, or just simply how to process business, submit, etc. They'll run illustrations for you and email them to you. They'll even be able to check on case status if you need that, as well as order supplies. You can also email them, and they will respond timely. Our practice is basically to respond within the same day of receiving an inquiry. So just getting started, we're going to talk a little bit first about our term portfolio. At American National, we actually remain one of the few carriers out there that still offers annual renewable term, or ART. And then, of course, we offer the traditional level term periods of 10, 15, 20, and 30. And with respect to our term products, we issue based on age nearest. So just kind of looking at the annual renewable term, it offers a level death benefit up to age 75. You see there the issue ages are 18 to 65 and a minimum face of $50,000. You'll notice here that we've got 2 separate categories, if you will. Face amounts $250,000 in a dollar and above, and face amounts of $50,000 to $250,000. I'm going to touch on this towards the end of the webinar, but essentially what that amounts to is that our Signature Term Express, that's our non-med program. So every application we receive on an individual basis up to $250,000 a face is basically non-med. So all we're going to really do there is cross-check a full application with MIB. We're going to pull a script check, and for younger ages, we'll pull a motor vehicle report. But you'll notice there that in the case of our 250 or less, best classification is standard, and we do permit flat extras. For every application over 250 or $250,001 and above, we offer all classes, including standard plus preferred and preferred plus. Our ART does have a conversion option. You can actually convert that policy within its first within the first 5 policy years. You can convert with 100% credit of that term premium paid in the year of conversion. That will go towards crediting towards that new premium to whatever policy you converted to. This ART can convert to our 20 or 30-year term, and as such, it can also convert to any one of our permanent policies as well. During the first 3 policy years, the only stipulation on conversion, it can be converted to term to the 20 or 30-year term. So that's the only stipulation converting term to term, is it has to be done within the first 3 policy years. Our signature, our level term products, which are our 10, 15, 20, and 30 year, you can see there are our respective issue ages. Obviously, our term is structured such that it will expire at year 80 for a max age 80. And similar to that annual renewable term slide we looked at, this our level term portfolio, our term products also separate between the $250,000 and $1 and above, and then of course the 50 to 250 for the non-med. And like I mentioned earlier, we'll touch on that in a little more detail later. Our conversion table for term, this slide's kind of hard to read, but as mentioned with our annual renewable term, we kind of touched on that, where you can convert to 20 or 30-year term within the first 3 years, and within 10 years you can convert to a permanent policy or before age 65. And you'll notice there for our other level term periods, essentially what the conversion options are is you have to convert within the term period of your policy or before age 65. So that's essentially what that conversion table is outlining. Moving along to our permanent product portfolio, American National has a suite of ULs and GULs, as well as whole life. Actually, we're not going to touch into whole life on this webinar. But looking at our signature index universal life, you'll see here that we basically keep it simple. It's all S&P 500 index only. We do have five crediting options. We have a fixed interest rate or a declared rate that is available. We also have an indexed interest rate with a cap and a 0 floor. Our current cap is 12.5%. We have a index with a cap and a higher floor. In that situation, that higher floor is 1.5%, and the cap is a little less than the 12.5%. It's currently at 10. Then we have an indexed interest rate that we refer to as a specified rate, and what that simply means is that if the index does anything positive, you would be the policy would be credited the specified rate, which is currently 7.5%. And if the index does 0 or negative, then of course you get the protection of the 0 floor and you get 0% credit. So that's what the specified rate represents. And then lastly, we have our uncapped strategy with an interest rate spread, and that interest rate spread is 4.75%. So essentially what that means is whatever the index does minus 4.75% is what will be credited to the policy in that given year. And all of this is annual point-to-point, again, based on the S&P 500. We also have our Signature Plus Index Universal Life, and this product is identical to our Signature IUL, with the underlying difference that the Signature Plus Universal Life offers an interest rate enhancement starting in year 11. It's basically like a bonus. It is not guaranteed, but currently it is a set at 1%. And so essentially the difference between our Plus product and our original Signature IUL is that our Signature IUL has a 30-year look back, if you will, historical max rate of 7.28% if you allocated 100% of your premium into the higher cap option. Whereas this product's going to offer a little less than that from a 30-year look back because of the lower caps in this product, but because you're going to get that 1% bonus compounded annually from years 11 on, that's the offsetting difference. And so in situations where you may have a client situation that they're not comfortable running an IUL illustration at a max strategy rate, but yet want to run it at perhaps a lower rate, like 6% hypothetically, then our Signature Plus product would perform better in those situations. So that's the underlying difference between our Signature Plus and our Signature IUL, is in those situations where you may want to run an illustration at a lesser interest rate than the max rate. So moving along, we also offer a guaranteed universal life product with the return of premium, also as we refer to it as a guaranteed cash out rider. This particular product is designed such that it is guaranteed to a minimum of age 95 and a maximum of 121, and that is actually dialable at the time of issue. So a client could conceivably have a GUL policy guaranteed to age 96, 102, 111. So they have the flexibility of dialing to a specific point in time down the road. Some of the specs on our guaranteed UL, it does come with a minimum face of only $25,000, so it could actually serve as a potential option to a final expense product, because this is going to be a lower premium insurance policy, because we're not building cash in the form of traditional cash buildup. And so this could serve as a final expense alternative. You'll notice that issue ages are 18 to 80. Again, as mentioned in the last slide, you can guarantee this between ages 95 to 121. And of course, it has a minimum guaranteed interest rate built in at 2.5%. You'll see here that obviously you can't increase the death benefit going forward, but you could conceivably reduce the face amount at any point going forward if you so chose to do so. And you'll see there we have the benefits and the riders include our cash out benefit, as well as our ABRs, which is our living benefits that I'll touch on shortly. And then, of course, the various waivers and child premium riders. So just to kind of give you a sense of the cash out rider, what we're looking at here in this slide is, once again, as mentioned early on, how at American National we separate the application and or policies at the $250,000 face amount, where $250,000 or less is non-med. And so we apply similarly an adjustment here, where at year 15 for face amounts of $250,000 or less, you get 50% return of your premium, and years 20 and 25 you actually have access to 100% of your premium to be returned if you so choose to do so. There is a maximum, as you can see there at the bottom of the slide, 45% of the death benefit. Conversely, for death benefits over $250,000, at year 15 you'll see there's a 65% access to return of premium, and at years 20 and 25 there's 100%. And then, of course, we do have that cash out benefit maximum of 65% for death benefits over $250,000. And just as a side note, how those cash out options work is at the respective anniversary of 15, 20, and 25. There is a 60-day window that we will notify you as the policy holder that you have the option to essentially surrender the policy and have your premium returned. And you have 60 days beyond those anniversaries to act on that option. And if you obviously don't act on the option, then you have to wait until the next anniversary option that's available to you. And just as a hypothetical example to kind of help understand a little better, here's just an example of a 65-year-old purchased a $500,000 GUL, guaranteed it to 105, and you'll notice that in the first 15 years they paid premiums of $202,000. Obviously, the percent of premiums of 65% being $131,000 is less than the cash out benefit maximum of 65% of the death benefit. So the client gets the minimum of the two. You'll see at year 20, premiums in are 270, 100% is 270, whereas 65% of the cash out benefit maximum is 325. So in that case, the client would get 100% of their premium returned. At year 25, you can see, and this is a bit of an anomaly actually, because in general we find that for slightly under 60 and under, you never experience the situation where premiums in of $337, 100% of that's $337, but yet it's a little more than 65% of the death benefit. In this situation, the client would only get the $325 or 65% of the death benefit, and not 100% of their premium that they paid in. But again, this is an exception to the rule. Actually, what we're finding is that in most scenarios for younger than 65, and in cases where the health is better than standard, in all cases by year 25, you're collecting your 100% of your premium back. One consumer-friendly feature we have on this product, which not so many of our competitors have, is generally with these guaranteed ULs, as many of you may know, premiums are due. Annual premiums are due upon the due date. There is no grace period. If you fail to make your premium payment by the due date, it can implicate the no lapse guarantee. In our case, we allow that grace period within this product, and so there is a 30-day grace period beyond the due date, and it will not implicate or affect the no lapse guaranteed feature in the policy. So mentioned a moment ago, I want to just touch briefly on our accelerated benefit riders, also known as living benefits. Our living benefits are available on all our products, both our indexed UL and our signature term, as well as our guaranteed UL. And I did mention we also have a whole life product that we're not touching on today. These living benefits are also available on all of these products at no charge. And so they are added automatically to all newly issued policies that qualify. And one of the qualifiers is that, and we'll touch on a little bit more later, is that you have to have a certain rating or above to qualify for this rider. And then, of course, there are some state implications as well. So one of the other features of our living benefits is that we will allow not only a full acceleration where the client could essentially surrender the policy. We also allow for partials, and in those cases the face amount would be reduced, and the balance of that face amount could remain in force. So just breaking them down a little bit, the accelerated benefit riders are made up of terminal, chronic, and critical. With respect to chronic, chronic is, as I refer to it, the long-term care look-alike, where you have to be unable to perform 2 of the 6 activities of daily living for a period of up to 90 days before this illness would be eligible for the benefit. And as you can see there, just a reminder of some of the activities of daily living that this is subject to. Critical illness, obviously this is a specific qualifying illness that would apply. In our case, on the next slide we'll see we have many trigger options, many more in most cases with relative to competition, and of course claims are not processed until at least 30 days after the qualifying event has occurred. But as you'll see here is a listing of our triggers. Again, we have 16 triggers covered within our critical illnesses. You'll notice down at the bottom numbers 14, 15, and 16 are in red. Our critical illness rider is also available in California, but only the first 13 are approved in California. The bottom 3 are not approved or not available in California. But as you can see here, we're covering a pretty broad base of potential issues that may affect an insured, from heart attack to stroke to invasive cancer. As you can see, paralysis, burns, severe disease of organs, even AIDS. And then finally, terminal illness, which is generally in virtually every insurance policy. In our case, it's basically 12 to 24 months of life expectancy, and the terminal illness would apply. And so this is pretty much constant in most life insurance policies. So just to kind of give a little bit more specifics on the accelerated benefit rider, as you had noticed that our guaranteed UL product has a minimum face of $25,000, and you need a minimum face of $25,000 for the terminal illness rider to be automatically included. Where that's something to keep in mind is that with respect to the chronic and critical illness riders, you need a minimum of $50,000 in face amount. So in those cases where you may have a final expense opportunity at $25,000, it would just need to know that the chronic and critical illness riders would not be included there. So minimum 50,000 face for the chronic and critical to be included. Also, you'll notice in the next piece, the maximum amount allowed to be accelerated is $2 million of the death benefit for ages 0 to 65 at issue, and for all policies issued for ages over 65, only up to $1 million of the face amount would be eligible for acceleration. So that's kind of the parameters on our accelerated benefit riders. Waiting periods, terminal illness, there are none. The chronic, you have to have a 90-day, you have to have the condition, have to be experiencing the condition for 90 days before you can make a claim, and critical is only 30 days. So this is just a hypothetical example so you can get a sense of how our living benefits would pay out. This is a $100,000 face amount, 45-year-old female. Standard annual premium is $898 on our indexed universal life product. So you'll notice that basically what we do with our chronic and critical illnesses is we break them into categories of slight, moderate, and severe. And all of those are a function of impairment to life expectancy. And so we will, at the time of claim, we will obtain current medical records for the client, and our medical director and underwriters will review that and make an objective observation of life expectancy, and that's where we'll make an offer. So hypothetically, this person is now 65 and they have experienced one of those critical illness triggers, and we qualify that to be severe. They would have the ability to accelerate their death benefit of $100,000 and have access to $77,000 lump sum. We would write them a check if they chose to surrender the policy, or they could elect to take that partially, and whatever they took partially, the balance would remain in force as a ongoing death benefit, and we would adjust the annual premium pro rata. As far as tax implications, the terminal illness rider, there, as many of us know, there should be no tax consequence. The chronic illness rider is subject to, similar to the long-term care daily limit set by the IRS, which as of 2016 was $340 a day, or $124,000. So in a case where a client would claim against this rider and receive more than $124,100 in any given year, it would be taxable. And then finally, the critical illness rider, we've basically seen scenarios where it has been taxable and where it has not been taxable. So we normally don't offer a position, but rather recommend clients consult their tax and legal advisors. Moving along and then going into just a slight more detail is, as mentioned earlier, we have our non-med or underwriting express for all individual applications received with a face amount of $250,000 or below. And as mentioned earlier, it is a non-med, so there's no labs, no blood, no exam. we will simply compare the application against MIB and script, as well as MVR for younger ages. As mentioned earlier, standard is the best class. Obviously, as I've mentioned previously, it's again all applications up to $250,000 for ages 0 to 65. And generally, the whole basis for this program at American National is it's our objective to accelerate the processing of lower face amount cases. So you'll notice that where we have clean apps coming in and there's no outlying issues discovered through MIB or script, you can see here that we'll approve the majority of our policies or applications received within a week. So that is really the basis for how we have structured our $250,000 threshold, was for the purpose of moving cases through as quickly as possible and getting them to issue. So this is really more of the same that we've been talking about as far as up to 250, standard best class. There is no reduction in commissions. They pay commissions just as all of our other products. And again, the whole objective here is to try to process business within a week. Now, obviously, we will have cases where perhaps there's a medication that was not mentioned on the app, and we discover that in the script check. That would require a phone interview. And obviously, if we discover from a phone interview that there may be other extenuating issues, then we may have to order APSs. So hypothetically, we batch this underwriting express into 3 groups. Group 1, which is the one I mentioned initially, where we will process these cases in as little as 2 to 3 days. Obviously, if we have to move this thing into the next escalation of a phone interview, it's going to take a number of days longer. And then, of course, lastly, if we've got to escalate it even further to an APS or an exam, it's going to turn into a typical life insurance case that may take several weeks. So just a little side note of another part of our business that we offer. For those of you that have business owner type clients, we offer what we refer to as our simplified issue for employer groups. This is similar to our non-med, up to $250,000 a face. Difference is issue ages are 18 to 65. And in this case, all our products are available except our IUL in this space. So our term, our UL, and our whole life are available here. You'll notice on the left side of the screen, it requires a minimum of basically 10 applications. So we need an employer that has at least 10 employees that are eligible to apply. And if not all apply, that's okay. But we look for at least 10 eligible employees that can apply. This is a short app. It's going to be hard to see, but this is the first of a 3-page app for this process. Again, this is not a guaranteed issue, but a non-med simplified issue short app. At the bottom, you'll see it's basically the typical knockout questions. This is purely a pass-fail type scenario. Here's kind of a blow-up of those knockout questions regarding predominantly AIDS, and then, of course, anything within the last 5 years that may have been a significant health issue, as noted there. And so that's going to be the knockout questions. Just because the client says yes doesn't mean they would necessarily be ruled out from coverage. And going back to that slide real quick, so essentially what happens here is that we're going to take a standard to table 4 shave, and so if you pass and you're within a table 4 to standard classification, everyone gets standard rates. So everyone has the same rate. It's only driven by age. And you'll notice here a quick snapshot of the comparison between our Underwriting Express non-med for individual applications and our simplified issue for employer groups. As you'll notice, the issue ages, obviously 18 for simplified issue versus 0 for Underwriting Express. We need the full app on Underwriting Express versus short app on Simplified Issue. Obviously, we need the 10 employees for the employer group. The other side note is that you will notice that the terminal illness rider is the only rider available for the term product in the Simplified Issue program. The permanent products will have access to the critical and chronic illness riders. So that's really the main side note there. And last but not least, American National is active in the federal employee market. In that case, similarly to the employer group market, we have access to this marketplace, which is predominantly restricted to an agent in the field having a relationship with an existing state, city, or federal employer agency of some sort. And so just know that if you have those relationships, could be with postal workers or what have you, this is another category that you could certainly consider with American National. And I would just suggest you reach out to Ray or Jason, and that they can put you in touch with me. So with that said, Jason and Ray, thank y'all. That's all that I have for today. And so open up for questions if you'd like.
Great. Well, Ronnie, hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you so much for that great information. Just real quick, just to kind of briefly highlight some of the exciting points. When as agents out in the field, an agent myself, you want to work and you want to partner with a carrier that makes it easy to work with, makes it easy to submit business, the way they process business. I mean, a company that knows how to process business. Their website is super friendly. For those of you that have been back there, for those of you that have not, hey, I recommended, getting American National in your back pocket and become familiar with the back office of the website. A company that has great field support, to be able to get someone that answers the phone that can help you with just about any question that you're going to have, that's fantastic, not transferred to another department, an all-in-one service rep, if you will, so again, a great partnership there. And then not only that, of course, the phenomenal products. We talk about being competitive out in the field, talk about doing and having our clients' best interest at heart, and making sure that, we're competitive in the home. The annually renewable term. Gosh, if you're in a situation someone wants a large face amount and, for a period of time to get them, they can take advantage of that till conversion or what have you. Great IUL products. So, again, very excited about, the competitiveness and the competitive products that we're going to have, for our partnered agents. So, thank you so much for that. It looks like trying to see here if I can open up for questions. What we'll do on questions, for those of you that have any questions at all, of course, give us a call here at the home office, or you can shoot us an email, jason@summitallianceadvantage.com. We'll make sure and get those answered for you. We'll get the information over to you. For those of you that want to take advantage of American National, the email that you received, you'll notice that you have access to the paperwork there. You can get that taken care of and sent back, and we can get, some great products like the, competitive carrier in your pocket, to work with your clients. So with that, I want to go ahead and bring today's training to a closing. I want to thank everyone for taking some time out of your day to join our training. I want to thank all of you agencies out there, just really plugging in and, making sure that you're equipped to go out there and handle, clients in the best way possible. So with that, again, I want to thank everyone for being on, and that is the close of our training today.